The reason why maybe you have anger issues, or maybe you fight a lot with people, maybe you just find yourself constantly in bad situations with people. I think the reason is because you might not think that you're protected. Okay, I'll explain. So first of all, hi guys, my name is Eriolua, and I love making videos and talking about stuff like this because I feel like these are things we all go through. But then it takes, sometimes it takes someone else to articulate it or to like put words for it. Anyways, so just on the topic of being confident in your non-offerness. I don't know what I'm just wait, do it. I know what I'm talking about, but like I'm using very specific words. So I'll start off with the story of myself, yeah, so that you get where I'm coming from. So I found out that there was a time in my life, actually, that was last year. I'm making it seem like it was a long time ago. It was just last year. It was just last year. At least, well, anyways, there was a time of my life that I was constantly in some sort of disagreement with people. Like, there were constantly people that I had some sort of a riff with. And I was just reflecting over everything that happened during that period. And I realized that the reason why I was vindictive at some point, the reason why I was fighting for myself, the reason why I was like calling people out and whatnot was because I felt like there was nobody else that was going to do it for me. And I felt like I had to do it myself. Right. And I feel like if you're constantly in that state, if you're constantly in the place where you feel like, oh, if I don't put people in their place, if you don't do this, people are going to do this, you end up making a lot more enemies than you'd like. You make so many enemies, very little friends. And that's not good. So what specifically happened was there was someone, yeah, and a miscommunication. Person said something. One very small thing. When I thought this thing was small, very small. And it was neutral. It wasn't like it was a bad thing or a good thing. It was neutral. It went to me too. Guess what? I was like I was so mad. I was like, you, I will come for you. And the reason why I did that was because I had been in a situation where someone did something or in that line. But what that person did was more. This person just touched the elm of the garment. Well, they didn't even do anything. And I was like, I have to put you in your place. I have to. And I was just reading the Bible recently and I realized that when David said, "The Lord is my shepherd," what does it mean? If you remember what happened with David and his sheep and the lion and the bear, David was like taking care of his sheep, and then lion came and snatched one of the sheep. And David was like, "Oh my God, my sheep!" And then maybe David had names for them. Because when I was little, I had like names for all my pets. Maybe one was, I don't know, Jonah. Just very random. But yeah, you could have named one of his sheep Jonah. And then the lion came and snatched away Jonah. And then David came back, like, oh my God, where's Jonah? Where's Jonah? And then the other sheep are bleating, like, oh my God, see, that's where the lion took it. Guess what? The other sheep were not fighting. They were not like, oh, let us go and fight against the lion. No, they just waited for David to come back. David came back, and it was like, wow, my sheep, my favorite sheep, the one with the one speckle, the one black speckle, just, ran after the lion and took the sheep back from the lion, delivered it, right? And when you think of that in just modern life and how it relates to us, like you're not your own shepherd. And when you have the awareness that you are not your own shepherd, it lets you be more relaxed. It lets you be more. So people will say some things. You're like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm not like when my shepherd catches you, you will know. Do you get like you have to be able to relax. I be like, do whatever you want to do. When the one that watches over me catches you, you're gonna know. I feel like if we truly took that to heart and if we believe that a lot more, we'll live very peaceful lives. We'll stop fighting. Yes, you stop fighting, you fought with everybody. Everybody is the bad guy. Hmm? Everybody can't be the bad guy. Everybody can't be the bad guy. You stop having unnecessary disagreements. There's just some things you just let go. Because you're like, anyhow. And One thing that I think we don't even talk about enough is that if you're someone who you're naturally calm, naturally just forgiving. Growing up, I was that way. I just that year, I'm like, God is my father. Anything you want to do to me, I will report you to God in prayer. And it's not that deep. It was not that deep. That at least when I was much younger, and I realized that people used to laugh at me a lot. People be like, "Oh, look at you. You're dull. You're not sharp. You're not street smart. People are going to cheat you. They're going to yeah." Like people, there were many times that I would do something that maybe the other person had a bit of of an upper hand, and I would just let it go because I'm like, for you to start using manipulation tactics, it means you really meant a lot to you. That extra 1,000, it meant a lot to you. I'll let you have it because I can't be, I can't be fighting over. Do you get? And then you now come back. People now be like, hey, so you let them do that to you? Ah, you are very dull, or you are not sharp at all. I feel like that happens so much. That happens so much, especially in Nigerian culture. Especially maybe even buying things when it comes to money. Maybe you're going to the market to buy something. Like, how can I be dragging 200 naira change with somebody who already is tired? This person has to stand under the sun for how long? I should not go there and be like, it doesn't make sense. Like, and then if you're not careful, people would you'd develop this urge to prove to people that you're tough. And that's what will lead you into that disagreeing side where everybody you're now fighting, you're now insecure. You don't want people to think you're easy to take advantage of. You now start fighting people who have no business. People just be like confused, like, what did I say? What did I like? How did we get here? And I think that I genuinely think we all want to be peaceful. If you look it deep down, do you know the amount of energy it takes to fight? It's very energy costly. Before you now start typing that very long message, like is stressful. Fighting is a very stressful activity. Deep down, everybody wants to live in peace. But if you feel like you have something to prove, you have to prove. That's where you start getting into trouble. Huh? So if you're going to take anything from this video, I just genuinely want you to feel seen. If you're in a place where you find yourself constantly getting into disagreement. I just want you to realize that you're not an orphan. It's orphans that go and fight for themselves because you have a father in heaven. All this, you're moving like an orphan. Why are you moving like an orphan? Don't do that. You have a father in heaven. You have someone who sees the entire picture, and you do know that sometimes you think someone offended you, but they actually didn't because you don't know the full story. You don't know the full picture. And then you have to consciously remind yourself that okay, the Lord is my shepherd. He's the one that fights for you. He's the one that fights your battles. When it comes to other people, let him handle it. That's his business, right? But God will not allow someone to cheat me and not compensate me, right? You have to remember that God will not let someone take advantage of you and not compensate you. The thing is, you think that people will get away with it. They won't. Because it's like you're forgetting about heaven and hell, that whole situation, that thing that we're going to have to get to when we die. Don't forget about that. We all want to go to heaven. I hope. But I just genuinely want you to sink into that understanding. You have to sink. Like even uh, Psalm 23, read it to yourself as many times over and let it sink in you. And then you find that the peace will become so much easier. Some people will even say whatever. You're like, you know what, okay. Like at this point, okay, God will fight for me. And then I just need you to know that. And then you find out that you just be in more peace. You'll be able to have more relationships with people. And there are some people that maybe you're not meant to be best friends with them. Sure. But they're supposed to connect you to somebody that you can be best friends with. Right? But if you have gone and you fought with everybody, But anyways, that's what I really wanted to talk about today. So to bring this to a conclusion, stop fighting for yourself. Stop getting yourself into situations where you are defending yourself. You're defending your honor. Nah, let God fight for you. Let God fight for you. Let God fight your battles because He is your father and you are not an orphan. All right. Have a good day. Bye.